What's happening, folks? Shootout. Z-Mote versus Z-Mote. Traditional versus split trigger. Which one do I love the most? Well, I'll spare you the torture, right? If you want the answer, it's going to be this one. But it's not because it's a better remote. I chose this because I'm used to this style of remote, and for a 2-week period where I was hot swapping between the two, I always found myself gravitating towards this. But let's talk about why this remote is better than this. And you know, my opinion is my opinion. Yours will be different, right? For the most part, this split trigger remote, it is a significantly better remote in almost all ways. One of the key differentiators, obviously the look, there's the grip as well, but the biggest difference is within the throttle throw itself. So you've got much greater control of your performance, speed, and how you ride with the split trigger, right? Just because you got more throw and there's a greater range of motion for you to hold an acceleration point. Whereas this one, it's either, I feel like you're either on or you're off. There's like 10 millimeters worth of movement, and between there you got 0 to 60 kilometers worth of acceleration, right? It's pretty crazy. Whereas this, you can fang it, and what I couldn't get used to and what I found challenging, because I've never ridden a split trigger remote before, is finding what that sweet spot looks like between accelerating and not accelerating. I couldn't grasp it, right? I'll be honest with you. But if folks are coming off an Evolve skateboard or who have ridden split trigger remotes in the past before, that are used to it, that are accustomed to it, I'm sure that this is going to feel just at home. And I'm actually going to send this remote out to an ex-Evolve rider. We're doing some work on an Evolve skateboard right now. Check this out. I think it's going to be the world's fastest Evolve skateboard ever made. It's a bold statement, but if you're paying close attention, you'll see that there's a lot going on in this picture that you probably haven't realized. One of the biggest things is if you take a look at the Radium motor mounts on the back, the owner has had the trucks machined so the motor mounts are sitting offset. And you're probably wondering, why would you want the mounts to be offset on the back of an Evolve skateboard? Well, to fit Radium 6385 style cans. And you know, I'm happy to be proven wrong here, but nobody's attempted that. This guy is. And you also would have noticed some machining going on those axles to fit those MBS Rockstar Pro 2s on there as well, with those massive tires. So not only are you going to have offset Radium massive style can motors, you're going to have these huge MBS wheels and the Radium 20 millimeter belt setup on the back there. This thing is going to be an absolute freaking beast. I'm so looking forward to seeing this completed. So I'm helping the user out with some components on that build at the moment, so I'll send you some follow-up pictures. This remote is going to go out to that specific individual. One thing I will point out is that these remotes are so easy to get up and running, especially if you're coming off a puck. All you need to do is unplug it and plug it in, and that's it. As long as you plug it in the same port, it's going to work. So real super easy, easy to use, easy to operate. When we look at the functionality, you turn it on. There's only 2 buttons on the top there. You tap the first one twice and you enable the color mode. Tap that first button again and you cycle through those color modes. Right, nice and easy. I'll turn those color modes off. If you are using color mode, be warned that your battery life's going to be depleting very quickly. You're going to get a few hours, maybe 3-4 hours worth of use, as opposed to not using those color sequences where you get, I don't know, a lot of hours worth of use. The second button, if you hold it down and release, it changes the, I guess the mode 1 or mode 2. So when it flashes red, it means that it's in slow mode. And we hold it down again. Release, and now it's flashing blue, it's in fast mode. That's it. So real simple, real cool little remote. It is better than this remote. I just can't get used to it. So that's my opinion, right? But yeah, I found myself wanting to love it. And for a 2-week period, I was hot swapping between both remotes. And I found myself almost forcing myself to love it, but I just couldn't. And I've always found myself gravitating back towards this remote. It's just simple, cleaner. I do like the grip more on this remote as opposed to this. This does have the dead man switch. This doesn't have the dead man switch, obviously it can't. But the ergonomics on the split trigger, it is by far better than a puck or this remote. It feels so much more natural. You also have greater power, greater control over your power sequence. And I guess maybe I didn't take to it was because I couldn't get used to where that power was kicking in because the throw is so much bigger. Maybe if I give it another 2-3 weeks, but I'm an old dog. I can't learn new tricks, right? So I'm just going to stick with what I know and what I do best. So yeah, look, there's my quick review synopsis of why this remote is still a good remote. It is better than this remote. I just can't get used to it, right? So I hope that information gives you folks some value. So if you are looking at transitioning to it, it is one thing. The thing to keep in mind, I know I've mentioned it before, is the throw, right? You get much more throw and much more acceleration area in this remote and brakes as well. So yeah, there you go. Thanks for tuning in. Head to head. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Ciao.